For this next step, I'm gonna be using an X-Acto knife. Make sure when you use an X-Acto knife, you have to have something underneath. If you carve into my table and scratch into my table, whenever we draw on this, that's going to show up for the next student that's trying to create an artwork. So make sure you have some cardboard or a cutting board underneath your foam before you start getting an X-Acto knife. It's incredibly important. I'm gonna get very mad at you and very frustrated if y'all start carving into my tables. Okay, what I'm doing now is I'm gonna cut out different sections of this, and I'm going to be able to ink them in different colors. And so that's going to look pretty interesting and cool. It's gonna allow me to make this fire like a red or a blue or a yellow flame. And then the rest of his body a different color, and then even the background a different color. So I'll show you how that's done in just a moment. Once I'm done cutting it out, you'll see that I'm gonna use tape to try to place it back to where it originally was so that everything will be kind of held together as I ink it up and placed in the right place. You'll also notice here in a minute, while I ink it up, I accidentally get some ink on the tape. So to avoid that, maybe we should cut off all the excess tape that we can using the X-Acto knife. Make sure if you're using the X-Acto knife, we are cutting on a board underneath it. Do not cut directly onto the table. Also, you'll notice that if I would have just gone a little bit lighter when I was inking it, that maybe it wouldn't have gotten on the tape. So I probably should have not pressed quite as hard and been as wild while I was inking this up. But once I have it all taped up, we'll ink it up. I'm going to ink the fire separately. So you see that I'm inking the dragon black, and then I'll use a separate color to ink just the fire. And then I'll place that back into place. You can kind of use a push pin or an X-Acto knife or something to kind of help you place it where it goes. Then I'm going to make sure that I have a clean surface underneath it so that I don't have any extra ink on it. And I'm going to press another piece of paper on top. I'm going to use my Baron to press it everywhere. Be very diligent in pressing it so that it gets the ink transferred everywhere. And then you can see where the little bit of tape kind of picked up in this one. So now I'm going back and cutting off that excess tape as I had mentioned earlier. Once I get this cut off, I'm going to re-ink it. If your ink starts to get dry, go ahead and wash it off in the sink, and then you can re-ink it, and that will help your ink to come off better. If you have dry layers of ink underneath, it doesn't always look the best. So here I go, I'm going to ink a second time with this cut out. I'm going to use a different style paper. Some of the papers you notice that I've used some acrylic paint to go ahead and paint a background color onto that. And you can use acrylic paints, or you can use watercolor, or you could use chalk pastels and print onto that. So you could use all sorts of things. But in this instance, I have a circle of yellow acrylic paint. I press it down on there. I use the Baron to press everywhere. And when I pull it up, you can see that it comes out nicely, and I don't have as much excess tape to leave little marks behind. All right, you kind of have an idea of what you're supposed to be doing. Cutting it out, make sure that you don't cut on the table, that you cut on a cardboard or a cutting board, and then we're going to place it all together, tape it up, ink separately. You can even see here that I put the background back on for this one, and I've inked the fire a pink color, the background blue, and then the dragon black. And when it's all said and done, the background will show up on this one as well. And so as we skip forward, you can watch how this turns out. Be thinking about yours. Go ahead and get yours started. Don't forget the cutting board, please. And then make sure that when you're using the Baron to press everywhere, that you spend maybe a little extra time pressing everywhere. That helps it come out nicely. All right, good luck with yours. Remember that it's printmaking, so if you mess up, you can always just do another one. Try some different techniques, try some different papers, different colors. Give it a go. Good luck and have fun. Okay, now I'm going to take this paper.
I'm going to do my best at lining them up. Right with the paper. I'm going to press them down.